All right, welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. Anyway, I've been gone for 2 weeks, and I didn't think anyone really would have noticed. I thought I could just, duck out for a while, duck and come back, and everything will be fine. But people were seemed to miss me, and it's very nice. And people were wondering, "Where are you?" I get all kinds of messages. "Where are you? And what have you been up to? And what happened? And why is there no show?" And everyone seems to think that maybe I've quit or retired or given up. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's some bad ones, and then there's some really bad ones. And those guys don't seem to miss a beat. It's puzzling and it's frustrating when you see somebody who interviews a guest who has a name or caliber, and they get 50 views, 100 views. So I should be happy because you are the best audience, loyal, got us over 10,000 subscribers, well over 1 million views, and every interview on here gets a lot of views, and so I'm glad to do that. And you put food on my table and my cat as well. So anyway, I took a little time off to do a few things. We're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about things that are coming up. We're going to talk about your questions and your comments, and of course, we'll see who else can join us to chime in, and we'll do all that and more right after. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We're going to have some fun. Got to keep it kind of brief today because we got to get on a plane tomorrow morning to go to Detroit with Stephen Pearcy. As many of you know, I tour manage Stephen Pearcy's band. So, and also we have a big announcement today, Stephen Pearcy show announcement that he messaged me right before the show, and he was very excited to pass on to the millions and millions of viewers watching. So, last interview that came up was Sammy Yaffa from Hanoi Rocks. It was a really great interview. It was my second interview with him. I can tell you that I have been talking to Nasty Suicide, which is a person and a thing, I suppose. But anyway, he's the original guitar player, one of the original guitar players for Hanoi Rocks, and he'll be here. And there's a bunch of other cool people. I try not to say too much because sometimes they back out. But anyway, we got some really good guests. And next week, Jimmy Ashurst will be on. And Jimmy played bass in the original Juju Hounds band with Izzy Stradlin, and he was also in Buck Cherry for a while. He's a really talented musician, and he'll be here. And so anyway, that's a little bit of that. So I went to California this past weekend. That's where I took what I called a vacation. I really just said it was a vacation so that people would leave me alone. But in truth, I was filming a lot of new content for the show. I feel like there's too many. Hold on, I'm watching the Yankees game. That looks like a home run. So, okay, we're still losing. But if you're scoring, Aaron Judge just hit a home run. Anyway, so I went out there to film some things. There's so many of these interviews out there. In fact, they're getting a little tiring for some of these channels. I thought, mix up the content. People seem to like when I go visit these landmark places. So I went to several, and that content will be coming out very soon. Some of you, if you check out my Instagram, which is JSIN_green, like the color, no E at the end of green, you can see some teases, if you will, of that. And I went to the house where they filmed Happy Days, the original exterior house from Happy Days. It is not in Milwaukee, it's in LA. I also went to the home of the Ropers. If you watch Three's Company, they made a spin-off of a show called The Ropers. I found the actual house that was used as the exterior and visited that as well. I also went to the houses from the movie Nightmare on Elm Street. Went to the Johnny Depp house and the and Nancy Heather Langenkamp across the street. I will say that in front of the Johnny Depp house there was a large porta potty. I thought that was interesting. Maybe expecting Amber Heard or something like that. I usually don't make those jokes, but in this case, it was very fitting. So a lot of content. I also went to the location of the Morrison Hotel record cover from the Doors. Went to the actual Morrison Hotel. It is going to be demolished soon. So I was one of the last people to get there and to film it. It is not in the best neighborhood. The gatefold and the back cover of Morrison Hotel were taken at a bar, and it was the first ever Hard Rock Cafe. A lot of people said that you can go visit it. It's a small grocery store now. If you're from New York, it would be called a bodega, or if you're from Puerto Rico, maybe. Anyway, it's a dump and it's a terrible neighborhood. And my friend was smart enough to stay in the car. I, being the brave cinematographer, influencer that I am, decided that I would bring you this footage live. And I met some very unsavory people, had my life threatened. And I thought maybe my life was going to end. It was very frightening. And I don't mean to offend people from Los Angeles or from California, but Los Angeles is really becoming a shithole. And it's been on a steady way towards that. But the amount of tents and people, now you'll say, well, this was Skid Row, and of course that's where it is. But police presence is non-existent. Homeless presence, crackhead presence, lunatic presence is sky high. And you can see why there is so much hate and negativity in the world between politicians and gas prices and all these terrible things. And we'll get to music in a second. I see all these nice people here. But you can go. So anyway, I went and I did get the footage, but you can see why people are so damn angry. You can see why they're racist and whatever. It's a bad place. So do not go to this grocery store. I forgot the name of it, because you will become a horribly negative person. I thought that I was possibly the most negative person in the world already. And speaking of negativity, let's bring in our good friend, the one and only Mr. Johnny Monaco. There he is. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
Hey,
Johnny,
where
it's
you
been a
been?
long time. I know. It's been a long time. People were very upset that there was no show, and I'm glad that they care.
Well, you are a public figure now.
Thank you. I think so too. And an influencer. So a few people here say it's about time I've returned. This guy named Ben Dio, which I believe is Bendejo, he says he unsubbed. I'm sorry to see him go. In actuality, I could give a fuck less. Let's see. A lot of nice comments. Good question from Brian Kirk to kick the show off. Thinking today, do we have a release date for Johnny Monaco's new CD? Good question, Johnny. How is the record? She said she found her soulmate coming.
Hilarious. So I know you referred to me as negative. That's not true. Totally false. I've turned over a new leaf. I'm very positive now. I'm very upbeat. Had a little bit of a bump in the road when I tried to cut some sleeves off of his shirt, but other than that, very upbeat, very patient today. Waited in line at Kohl's, and I only cast her down with my vicious stare twice, so that's better than most times.
This is the new kinder, gentler Johnny.
Yeah, very positive, very upbeat. Everyone's very happy with my, just really, really doing good.
Last night I suggested we have Chips Enough on the show because you're so happy now. I thought maybe you guys, it would be nice to have you guys chat. What do you think?
Baby steps.
Yeah, that's true. It's got some time. Well, we're going to be seeing him in August. Enough's Enough is on the same bill as Stephen Pierce. Enough's Enough goes on at 9:15 a.m., I believe, and then you guys go on about 8 p.m. So hopefully he'll still be around. So I'm sorry that he does not have an answer on his CD. And Lake Town, thank you. Dr. Paul thought this might be a repeat. No repeats, all live. Jason, thank you so much. Mark, thank you. Randy, all these people are so happy. And so all the welcome homes. Look at all these nice comments. Who's the dude here? Has he eaten Jason Green? I'm not sure. I think that's a fat joke. Let's see what his name is. Brontosaurus.
Talking about me? Are we both wearing black and white shirts? What is happening?
Yes. Right? Did you get the memo? Anyway, I think this guy is saying I'm fat. Oh well. Let's see. Some more welcome backs. People are glad we're back. Well, I'm glad that I see so many people who support and enjoy this show, and of course, saying hello to Johnny. And hey, Indy, thank you so much. We're getting things started. We're almost at dinner. Then, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
Johnny's Instagram is definitely funny. He always has good stuff. So before we get too started, I want to make this some announcement type things. First of all, uh, Johnny, you and I will be heading to the airport, Harry Reams International Airport, tomorrow at.
Harry Reams.
Yeah, well, that's what it's called, isn't it? Harry Reams. Harry Reams International. They changed it. It used to be called McCarran, but they were looking for a more politically correct figure to name it after.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
So we're going to head there around 4:30 in the morning.
Oh God,
Yeah,
I don't like these early morning ones. I mean,
yeah.
it throws everything off, throws your whole poop schedule off, and also just kind of nauseous that early. And then I got to get in the Uber with the person, and try to work on my new me. It's a very challenging ride.
Well, it's tough in an Uber at 4:30 in the morning. So we've got that. We're going to head to Detroit, Michigan, and then after that, there's one show in Detroit with Slaughter. And then the next day we will be driving. This is Saturday. Thursday's a day off. Friday, Detroit. Saturday we are driving to Milwaukee, for a thing called Summerfest.
Yeah,
And
Milwaukee
they have
Fest.
Milwaukee Fest. Yeah, they have different stages, and one of the stages you can catch Great White and Striper and our friends in Slaughter again, and Stephen Piercy, and then that's on Sunday, Saturday. The headliner that night on the main stage is three acts. One is called Lil Wayne, I think, and then the other one is something T-Pain maybe. But the main act is the Wu-Tang Clan. It's exciting to be there, Shaolin, with the Wu-Tang Clan. Unfortunately, ODB has passed away. But anyway, so that's what's coming up. And I see a question here. Whatever happened to the Golden Robot Contest? Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit with Mark Alexander Erber and let you know the latest. We've listened to some of the music. Johnny has listened to almost all of the submissions, but we'll get to that. Listen, we gotta walk before we run. So
What
to
is this
speak.
person talking about?
Which one?
Or your friend Dr. Paul. I am a new me now, so I'm not even getting aggravated. Look at it. See?
Not,
So
well,
you
yeah.
take care of it.
Well, I'm not sure I get it, but when I do, I will address it. But I'm not
What does
sure.
that mean?
I don't really know. But I do know this. These are the upcoming Stephen Piercy tour dates, and you can get these at officialstephenpiercy.com. Most of these, but I am going to give away a date that is not on that list and is not on that website. And that date is September 23rd here in Las Vegas at the Golden Nugget. So that is the hometown show. Johnny and I live here, and Stephen Piercy lives here as well. So tickets are on sale now. They're going to sell out, and you got to get them fast. So if you want those tickets to see Stephen Piercy in his first Vegas show in quite some time at a very nice casino. Johnny, They have a water slide there that goes through a shark tank. Are you familiar?
Oh, I have not been there. However, Golden Nugget was my nickname in college, but I would love to try that.
Yeah, well, so we'll check that out because they were nice enough to give us hotels for 2 days. So we should go. Yeah, so we should go. Although, yeah, I think it'll still be in Vegas. It'll still be hot in September, and we can try that. So September 23rd, Golden Nugget tickets are on sale right now at their website. For more dates, officialstephenpiercy.com. There are a lot more being added. As you can see, this is still a lot. We're very busy. And, Johnny, I was thinking a lot of people don't realize what goes into touring these days. It's not like you get on a bus and then you do 2 months or 3 months, unless you're that sonically challenged slam tour with Tom Kiefer and the other bozos. They're really going for it, But what we do is we fly into different cities, and sorry, I'll close play at second, and it looks like he is out, in my opinion. They're probably going to have to get this looked at. But yeah, we fly into different cities and then you fly out. Sometimes it's a really long way to go. It's great when there's 2 or 3 shows because it makes it a little easier because we do travel um, some pretty long distances. I want to talk, Indy. I see your question. I'm going to get to it, but I want to talk a little bit about the last trip we did, Johnny, because I think people would love to hear a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So where did we go last?
I want to say Atlantic City, New Jersey. Am I right?
That was a one-off, right?
Yeah. Flew there, and we drove from the airport to a little town called Pleasantville, which there's irony in that name. Must have passed 10 cemeteries on the way to the.
A lot of cemeteries. I think maybe more. And when we do these type of trips, we split into 2 vehicles: the Vegas people in one, and the California people in the other. And so we took the drive to Atlantic City. There is no direct flights into Atlantic City other than Spirit Airlines, which nobody, well, or maybe Frontier. I don't know. One of these shit airlines where they make you pay for an armrest and, pay toilets and, pay peanuts. So anyway, we flew into Philadelphia, rented vehicles, and then drove to Atlantic City. And we stayed 40 miles away from the venue. That will never happen again. It was an interesting lineup. The lineup, I got to the venue early. Now, this was the Orange Loop Festival. This was supposed to be a massive outdoor festival. They said that maybe rain was coming and they needed to move it inside. It was beautiful and sunny for the most part. I think maybe ticket sales were a little low. That kind of thing happens. It was a very weird festival. The billing was strange. Anyway, so it was moved into an abandoned House of Blues, and then the foundation room area was turned into the dressing rooms. And so I got there early, and I was greeted by the lovely Doro Pesh. Her dressing room was right across from ours, and she recognized me from on the show, and we had a nice talk. And she's such a great, positive woman, and she said she will come back to promote her next record. She's always working. Then I also got to see Johnny D, who is her drummer, and Johnny D was in Brittany Fox, and we had some fun talks about Brittany Fox, and he's been on the show as well. So I went and watched Doro, and it's a lot of fun. She's got so much energy, whether there's 1 person or 1 million people. She's the queen of metal, and she was a lot of fun. After her were Slaughter, who I've seen many times. We play a lot of shows with them. I had a nice talk with Mark and Dana again. They have a different drummer on this run. I wish Blas would do it, but I think maybe he's busy here in Vegas. And then Jeff Blando was their guitar player, who I talked to a little bit as well. So then after they played, it was Great White. And for the second show, Great White had Andrew Freeman of Las Vegas also in vocals. And I think he's still trying to find his way with them. But good crowd, and there was a short set, so they played, their hit. And then after that was Stephen Pearcy. Now, out of all of these bands, Stephen Pearcy is the only one who is multi-platinum or whatever, Rat, and those songs are huge. After him came a thing called Hinder and a thing called Chevelle. I can tell you that maybe those are big acts somewhere, but not one person could recognize them. And most people cleaned out after Stephen. No disrespect to those bands. I don't know anything about them. I saw a lot of faux hawks. That's about all I can say about that. And it was an interesting experience. Johnny, you like to be by yourself before shows. You're not really the hanging kind of guy.
Well, we were all crammed into one room, and with everything going on, I was trying to hear and trying to warm up and remember stuff. I'm still trying to remember all the songs. So I do like to go somewhere where I could just kind of do that, where everyone's not around. But it was hard because time I went somewhere, somebody else would show up, and
I found you in the catering area.
Yeah, I tried to get a corner of the catering, and then everyone kept coming over and going, "Hey," and I'd have to go, "Hey, how you doing?" Like we're all
we're all in this together. We're the bands backstage. You must be in one of the bands. So it's like there's this, like when motorcycle guys drive past each other and they wave.
Mhm.
But I'm not really in that kind of a club. So I just, thought maybe they worked there. So I just said, hey, and then I went back to what I was doing. Then someone else would show up. Then Jerry came and he was practicing his bass, and it was like tankety clank clank, and he was singing. And I had to just keep rotating to different rooms.
Yeah, I'm just looking at people's comments. Very positive as
But it,
usual.
it was fine.
I introduced you to Mark Kendall of Great White. We had a nice little talk with him.
Yeah,
He was looking
he's
at your
nice.
guitar. Yeah.
I don't think
And-
he was doing that. I think he was just trying to look somewhere, and he happened to look there.
Well, he has glasses on like Ray Charles, so I'm not sure he was looking at anything.
Right, which I'm going to probably have to start doing soon. But yeah, he was nice, and I didn't really see the rest of the band. They were running around. Everybody was scattered. That place was it's like a defunct prison.
Kind of like beyond Thunderdome or something.
There were all different rooms, but you could see like wiring and parts where switches were. But it used to be the House of Blues, or is it still? I don't think it was anymore, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's what's left of House of Blues. So like they took the TVs out and things and wiring, and yeah, I give this event, the Orange Loop, credit for putting that together, in such a short amount of time to move into this abandoned House of Blues. Atlantic City is not what it used to be. It was in the Showboat Casino. It did not. They don't even have gaming in there. It was strange, but yeah, I talked we talked to Mark Kendall, and I talked to Andrew Freeman, and also Audie Desbrow, who's the original drummer for Great White, or he's not the original, but he's the important one. And it was nice to see everybody. I feel like Eddie Trunk sometimes, when maybe I'm name dropping too much, but I feel like the people in the audience would like to hear about who we ran into, and then I filmed a little bit that'll be on my series eventually. I know people are waiting to see this tour diary I've been filming, and it really is going to be an amazing episodic piece. It's like North and South, or The Day After, or V. Because it's a lot of exciting things have happened since I've started filming. Members have changed, members have gotten sick, shows have changed, shows have gotten sick. There's been so many things to see that I'm editing it, and then it'll come out. So don't worry, you're going to see that. And of course, Patreons are going to see it first. These Patreons, Johnny, they're really the ones that make me have to do this show. Want to do this show because it helps. Indie Cult. Are you a fan of the 80s Minneapolis punk scene, Husker Du replacements, Babes in Toyland? So I like Husker Du. Bob Mould is the guitar player for Husker Du. I've seen him live a bunch of times. Got a great solo career. And Babes in Toyland I'm only a little familiar with. And Replacements wasn't really my thing. I bet you Johnny likes the Replacements.
I did like the Replacements. Yeah, I think their songs kind of like a Chicago kind of power pop sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot of the songs, but
I
know
don't either.
When I hear it, it's I like it. But I'm not a huge fan, probably, to say that. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm Kyle's a fan of the Juan Crucier Detroit Rock Chili. Inside joke. Dr. Paul is explaining that Hager also hated 4:30 a.m. That was.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't? Who likes 4 a.m. wake up calls?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're up all night, but then because you're not going to feel good, you're on the plane, and then you're nodding off. I tried to sleep on the plane, and I ended up biting underneath my tongue, and that turned into a nightmare for like 5 days. Everything
I turned into an STD, if I remember.
That's not what happens. I bit it, and it turned into a canker sore.
Mm-hmm.
It traveled to the tongue, and because I was trying to sit in the seat, and I'm tired, and I start doing this, and then you're nodding, and then
I'm sure Dr. Paul will have something for you. Okay, Mr. Jane Public, talk about the Tommy Lee fake broken ribs debacle. Fans are pissed, and now Motley are not refunding the meet and greet too. Brad should have headlined Motley is dead on arrival. So let's talk a little bit about the stadium tour. We'll do it a little bit, and then we'll get back to our own things. Tommy Lee has these broken ribs. I can't see why he's faking that. People say it's alleged, but I mean, why would you fake broken ribs? But anyway, the guy comes out, he plays 5 shows, and then he leaves, and then he comes back and he plays the pre-recorded piano part in Home Sweet Home on a fake, probably keyboard that's not plugged in. What do you think is going on?
I don't know why he would fake it. I would think he would want to play. I could picture him breaking his ribs right before a tour. That seems how he would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, everyone's really excited about this. Or I don't know if they're excited. There's sort of some buzz, and the reality is, it's been so long. You've seen Motley Crue a bunch of times. I haven't, but people have. And then they're going to come out now and do it again, and it reminds people of their youth and stuff. But we're older, and so is everybody. So I don't get it. I mean, I think it's okay for the kids and for the people they're young, where they haven't seen them. It's wasted on me. Do I really need to see Motley Crue? I don't know. I mean, I like all those songs. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's faking it. Do you?
I don't think he's faking it. Is Rick Allen that much tougher than Tommy Lee? You know what I mean?
Oh, with one arm, you mean?
Yeah, he one arm. What the fuck? I'll just
well, yeah, but there's no pain. Maybe ghost pain. But when you first break a rib or something, I would think it would be hurt. It would hurt, and to be physical, I would think you physically wouldn't be able to do it unless it was hurting so bad. But you're like, I'm going to keep going, and a doctor might say, don't do that because it's going to take longer to heal. So he probably, doctor's orders. I know you're going. I don't know. The whole thing sounds a little weird, but it's not really. I'm concerned 15 feet.
Yeah, well, everyone has different opinions, and I'm going to let some of their opinions get into this. Most people are saying Poison is the best thing on the bill. That's a crazy thing to say, but I'm not surprised, and I'm going to tell you why I give Poison some credit. They've got all 4 original members of the band, which I know, so does Motley, but they have all 4 original guys. From what I can tell, they are not using any tracks. They play their show, and they only play hits. They play the songs that Poison fans want to hear. I think that's a good thing. Def Leppard is playing 4 or 5 songs that no one's ever heard. I think that's a waste of a moment, and Def Leppard won't play, the cooler stuff from the first 3 records.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, and then Motley, for me, have always sucked. Motley Crue, to me, is a band that has 2 good records, and then a couple of good songs here, a couple of good songs there. Watching them live, so Mick Mars is essentially embalmed. You know what I mean? He's got problems. No disrespect. I'm glad he's up there playing, but he can't move. So you're at a stadium, and so he's stationary. Then you got Vince Neil, and then you have Nikki. So it's the Vince and Nikki show trying to run around and entertain a stadium. And it's no secret that half their show is pre-recorded. And people get mad when I say this. They get very upset. But these are just some of the facts. So I don't find Motley Crue to be that exciting. I've seen them. And then Joan Jett just doesn't really fit with that bill to me. I like Joan Jett. She's a legend, but I don't think it fits. And I'm not sure I want to get to a stadium at 4:00 in the afternoon or whatever and see that. So I don't find this tour to be too exciting. Poison, it's funny. I see some of their meet and greet photos. This Bobby Dahl, it could give a fuck. He's got to be married or happy in his life because he looks like he just got done working in the tool shed and then just strolls onto the stage. There is nothing glam or slam or jam about his image. It's pretty funny. And then Brett he's looked the same for a long time. Maybe had some work. Who knows? But anyway, I don't find it that interesting. Now let's see. Yeah, well, here Christopher is saying that Bobby should dress up for a little bit more. And you're playing a stadium. I think you should definitely do something. Let's see what we hear. DJ Ashbo is behind the curtain. I don't think DJ Ashbo is behind the curtain because I think he just pushed play. Sounds so digital. Mick Mars sits in a chair during the tour. I hear that he does that sometimes. What are you going to do? Yeah, CC runs around. Poison. I mean, Poison's kind of running away with this. It's pretty crazy. A lot of comments here.
Yeah, this guy says CC is killing it with Eruption.
Oh, I was hoping that someone would ask that. Did you see him? Did you see his version of Eruption?
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, the positive me will say it's great. Great job.
You gave CC a guitar lesson.
It's kind of yeah.
Enough's Enough was on tour, on one of those Poison tours. Who else was on the tour?
I want to say Quiet Riot,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Warrens with Janie Lee.
Right, and Quiet Riot with Kevin DuBrow.
Yeah.
So a lot of late singers. Were you singing for Enough's Enough, or was it the late Donnie V singing?
No, that was Donnie V, and I believe that was also called the Glam Slam Metal Jam.
Right, I believe it was.
The original one.
The original. And so you were on that tour, and you guys got in some trouble. You had to park your bus outside the fence because Poison has a lot of rules. We've covered this on the show before.
That's right.
I don't know if they still do that, but in the past, if you got a stickered pass and it had someone's name on it, you were not allowed to speak to anyone. It seems very sexist. Anyway, their tour manager, I believe, came and he knocked on the bus door, and he came on your bus and he told you that CC wanted to see you right away. Correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And you went into the.
Yeah. I said, okay. Well, what is it now? What? Let's go. They walked me all the way down there.
And you went into the bowels of some arena somewhere, and there was Cecil waiting for you. And what does he say to you?
He said, you're jamming every night. You're sounding great. Can you show me something I could do during, for my licks, something I could play during my solo? And I said, now? You want to learn it now? You're going on 15 minutes. And he's like, yeah, just something, I could do. So I showed him a diminished lick, some stuff, he could maybe do, and he went out there and played it.
Yeah. I'm assuming it was stellar.
Just like Eruption.
Mm-hmm. Did he continue to use the lick you taught him other nights, or was that a one-time thing?
I don't remember. They got mad at me because I had like red hair at the time, and I once dressed up as had a dress on or something. Me and Ricky did something, and they got mad at me, and they said,
Karen, not Rocket.
Right, Ricky Parents, or Donnie, or someone. We did something together where we dressed up like in dresses or something goofy, and they thought I was making fun of the tour. So, and that was another part of the reason they made us drive our bus outside of the confines, outside the gate. So we had to walk all the way if we want to go back and forth. They didn't want us parking our bus by where they park their buses. There's some other reasons too, because girls and some people would come over and want us to sign stuff, and they didn't want that. If it was specifically their fans, you couldn't mingle with their fans, or have anything to do with anything that's all of their world. Right. It was like if you were like a young boy being raised near Chernobyl.
Don't you kind of hope that Motley Crue now treats Poison that way?
I don't care anymore. I mean,
Johnny, Overrated is a great record. Do you ever play tunes from it live?
No, once in a while, like last week, actually, someone did shout out to play that, but I have a hard enough time playing the songs people sort of know. And I try to just, in those gigs, you want to play what they know. They don't care about you. They just want to, listen to something like Stuck in the Middle with You or something that they know for 3 minutes and then go on to the next song. But I mean, even if I wanted to, I probably would have to review that stuff because there's been a lot of songs. I don't remember them all. Like, you can't remember them all. I mean, maybe you could. I don't. So I'd have to go through them. But no, I don't. Sometimes.
I feel like this is one of those questions where someone's just looking for a response. I was told at the Rainbow Bar and Grill show, Piercy was off with his backing vocals laugh out loud. I can't tell if that's being funny, but obviously there are no backing vocal, nothing pre-recorded.
Backing track.
Yeah, there's no backing tracks, but that's not what he said. But anyway, there's no track. There's no tracks in the Stephen Pearcy organization. There are fine vocals from yourself and Scott Coogan. Both can be lead singers and have been, and Eric Ferentinos sings as well. Let's see. A lot of people think Rat would have been better than Def Leppard. Okay, so in my opinion, Def Leppard doesn't really fit that 80s hair metal thing. So sure, do I think Poison, Rat, Motley is the better bill? I do. There is no Rat though. And so what are you going to do? I don't think that lineup could play stadiums. Def Leppard is by far the biggest band on that bill. People hate to admit it. They all want to pretend that Motley is the biggest. Def Leppard sold way more records, has way more commercial hits. I'm not sure Motley Crue has a giant hit. Home Sweet Home, maybe. I know the kids like this Kickstart My Heart, but there's not a song that is there's no #1 single in Motley Crue's history. Def Leppard's got Crazy. Let's see. Have any of Johnny's solos sold beyond 100 copies? Oh, I think this is the person picking on you now.
Yeah, he's made several comments trying to. The new me welcomes it. The old
well, we're
me,
promoting his website apparently too.
Oh,
but
is that what it is? What does that mean? Puroculturismo.
Look it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Can someone else do it and tell me?
Johnny is triple platinum. Okay.
I don't know what that means, but it's okay. And he mentioned something about Gino Martino, which me and Gino are pretty good friends. So obviously this person, much like most of the people I run into in the course of the day, you always have to consider the source.
Right.
Most people I think they're doing it on purpose, but they're not. They're just, yeah. So, but it's okay because the new me says, I must look into that. Great job.
Yeah. I mean, Girls, Girls, Girls. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a popular song. I just don't think Motley has that. Girls, Girls, Girls is not Pour Some Sugar on Me or Armageddon or Love Bites. I mean, or Bring It On the Heartache or Break or whatever the fuck that song's called. I mean, those are Photograph, Rock of Ages. Those are all bigger than Motley songs. All right, let's see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they do have a lot of big songs. And that album with the semi on it, is that Into the Night or Into the Night? There's a lot of good ones on there. That's when I grew up listening to that one.
Yeah, I like to hear some of the heavier songs. Wasted, Let It Go, and that's the kind of stuff that they're just not going to play right now. But listen, I mean, it's great that these bands are alive. And Johnny, we have to remember, and I think you kind of said it, there's younger people out there who are excited, and this is what they're going to get. So
yeah, it's fun for them because they've been kind of groomed because most of the time, if you look beyond them, you're looking at the parents who raised them to like the same music they did. It's like a youngster.
Dr. Paul looked at that website. He says it seems to be all about furries doing butt stuff. So thank you, Dr. Paul.
Come on. I don't know what that is.
He just comes on here and makes things up?
I don't know. This is what they do. After they say something, and drug addicts do this too, then they go, just kidding. I was kidding.
Yeah. He's just kidding. We don't know that he's on any type of drugs. But
I'm just kidding with you guys. Can't you take a joke, guys? You're and then I'm just kidding. Drug addicts. Hey man, you got any coke? Coke? Just kidding.
Oh right, yes, you feel it out. Yeah. I feel it. I think you do that with chicks too. You know what I mean? You set your standards high, like you see what you can get away with, and then if you stay like, hey, how about some anal? And then, I don't know if you're into that.
Then you reel it back when they go,
Yeah, then you go,
Who is into that? That's terrible,
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
You know, I mean, I know it's not everybody's thing, but you know, you have to start somewhere. You have to negotiate, and then you work down. And if there's anything that makes you look bad, oh, I kid.
But
I agree. Every Rose Has its Thorn is probably bigger than anything in Motley Crue's catalog as well. Motley Crue's image is strong. I give them that. I mean, actually, I don't even know that, but I'm talking about the way people perceive them with movies and books. Round and Round or Chinese Rocks? That's a funny question. You know, when I was a boy, Round and Round was a big thing to me. But comparing Round and Chinese Rocks is like comparing apples and oranges. They're both good, but they're not the same. Robin Crosby died the same day as Dee Dee Ramone 20 years ago. And Dee Dee Ramone, a hero of mine, and Robin Crosby, member of Rat. Johnny is playing a lot of his parts now. And but anyway, I can't choose between those. Yeah, Tina knows. See, Tina gets the game. Okay, how about a BJ? Yeah. Tina, you've probably put up with a lot of men with this kind of game. Yeah, you got to start somewhere, and some of the jokes are a little less funny than others. You know, I see some of these guys, Johnny, online. Chips enough, like hey, little brother, I'm getting thrown out of a hotel, you know, and then like, come see me tonight.
Yeah,
it's not really funny. And then the guys in Faster Pussycat, you know, they're every day they've got like a little little video thing, and they're supposed to be funny, I think. And then you know the Slim Tender and Pork Shoulder or whatever that they're like Abbott and Costello, those two, and they tell them this, I don't know, and then Danny's Slim has got this thing, and he's everyone, and it's like all these guys got iMovie, and now they're all fucking comedians. I don't get it.
This comedy thing's tough.
Yeah,
it's nice to be like, you know, you don't take it serious. You're joking around, all comedian, and then I'm not involved anymore with any of that, and now everyone's a comedian. Although the new me will say, I'm glad they're embracing comedy as a comic, but I don't know. Maybe some people would find that funny. We talked about this, and we thought maybe a lot of people out there would find that funny. With their, you know, this is the same way a lot of people like bands like Nickelback, and you know.
Yeah. What will come first, Johnny's solo record or Jason's tour diary? I believe it would be my tour diary because it's actually done. I'm waiting for a moment to put it out. Johnny's close though, but I think Johnny, there's more fanfare that goes with it.
Well, my lease is going to be up in 3 weeks, so if I leave this place and find somewhere, I think that'll be really good. And if not, and I have to stay here for another year with these lunatics, I will at least know that this is my sentence, so I can get on it. Regardless, it's been not a life-changing thing, but since I've taken on these gigs, and then I play like 3, 4, 5 days a week in 2 or 3 other bands, so it's just been nonstop. I just have not had a minute to even, you know, if I can come home at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and you know, put in a couple hours, that would be great. But I can't do that here, and also I'm pretty tired by the time I get home. But I am really trying to get that done because I think there's a bunch of good songs in there. I think.
Michelle, let me help you answer this question. Michelle Lane asks, why did you adopt a new me persona? I think that when Johnny got the gig with Stephen Pearcy, we didn't want to scare people off. Maybe when people wouldn't understand Johnny's personality or sense of humor, although Stephen seems to enjoy it. And then dealing with people like Chips Enough, who maybe in the past, maybe you said some things, you know, maybe less pleasant things. Maybe you said he sounds like marbles in a garbage disposal.
I don't remember the garbage disposal part. Now, that was the old me. The old me. Negative, always pointing out the obvious, just that, you know, judgmental, just, you know, really. The new me is welcoming. I welcome all the people.
And pigs. Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to last.
What do you mean?
But it's, well, listen.
You're the one who told me, like, you gotta, if you weren't so negative, maybe you would get more people and likes, and your career would be further along. And I'm like, you know what?
Johnny would make videos while touring with bands where he would insult the people he was touring with.
The old me was very aware. The new me is not very aware. Look, I don't know what I'm doing.
I feel like
there's nothing in this glass.
I feel like Johnny is better I feel like Johnny is better than a lot of players who are out there. I feel like he doesn't get the same credit and respect that a lot of these players get. And it's not just because not only can Johnny, he can shred and do all those things, but he also writes great melodic music. And so I think that the kinder, gentler Johnny for now might help him to be more widely accepted. And then he can go back to hating the world.
No, it's not. I don't hate humanity per se, just individual people and if I do, there's a reason for it. You don't just not like someone or hate them because of one thing, turn those brights off. We're in a normal street. We're not in the jungle. Or if you're going to turn into a parking spot off of a busy street, how about continue the turn? Or if you're pulling away from a Starbucks, just get your stuff, go out, and then check to make sure. Don't sit there for so long. See, now you're getting me. The old John is coming around. So trying to keep that away from the people because it's not helping.
Is two jerks in a joint one of your jokes? Is that something?
That's what the old terrible me did post a video entitled that. Mm-hmm. And it is amongst my catalog of wonderful spontaneous comedy, and that is one of them from one of the tours because they used to smoke pot and joints all night behind my head in the room where you're on a bus that you're not supposed to smoke. So again, maybe I was a little upset with them, but I don't just do things for no reason.
Now, Ben wants to know, but we're not going to answer him because this is the same idiot who said he unsubbed. So why would we? What you're obsessed with Johnny and his balcony and the people smoking, but you said you unsubbed. If you unsubbed, why are you still here? Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. Maybe call a friend, maybe have someone help you, and we'll see where we go from there. Who is Johnny's favorite power pop band? Now we know who the king of power pop is, but what is your favorite power pop band, Johnny Monaco?
I mean, I like Cheap Trick. That's got to be the best one, right?
I think that would be right up there. And that when it comes to that term, yeah.
There's so many good songs. It reminds me of that era. I really like Cheap Trick. They're got to be one of my, if not my favorite. I don't consider the Beatles or, like bands like that a power pop thing. I don't know if Jellyfish is included in that or not. But
I think they are.
Yeah, obviously people go to the Raspberries, but for me, I only know a couple of those songs. They're great ones, but it's like if you're naming song after song and it really hits you in the feels, that's what the kids say. I think it sounds ridiculous, but I just really like the Cheap Trick songs.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Yeah, I think that you can't go wrong with that. In just a little bit, Mark Alexander Erber from Golden Robot Records is going to join us for a little bit, and we're going to talk about the contest. We're in the judging process. We are listening. For those of you who don't know who are the judges, I will let you know that Johnny Monaco is a judge. I am a judge. Mark Knight, the original Bang Tango, is a judge. Tommy Schio, original Tesla, currently of Resistant Bite, is a judge. And Jake Perry, who is the booking agent at the Whiskey A Go-Go. He listens to a lot of music. I like Jake. Jake's a good guy, and he knows music, so he's a judge. And I think I got everybody. And then Mark, obviously, and the A&R people at Golden Robot Records, they have narrowed the list down so that we could hear some. Mark is tremendously excited. He says there's gold. I haven't quite heard that yet, but I'm only a few in. And I don't want to be negative. So we're looking, but there was 120 entries. That's a lot to go through. Mark was listening. Mark Knight was listening as well. We'll talk to Mark Alexander Erber in a little bit so that you know when to stay tuned. Because what I think is, let's open it up to the audience. You people are the ones who listen to music and consume the music, and so let's let you guys vote. So we're going to narrow it down to 5, and then let the audience choose. Who's getting a record deal. I think that's a great thing, and a lot of these are new artists that need some work. This is, it takes guts to send in your music. I will say that. That's the first step, doing it. Most people don't even get that far, and don't follow the directions very well. So those are all things to think about. Now, let's see. This is a time. Maybe you'll get a good answer here. Your favorite guitarist, Johnny?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, I sometimes people ask me that. I don't know why they would ask me. I'm really.
It's hard to pick one, though, isn't it?
What?
It's hard to pick one, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like different guitar players for different, styles. My one main guy, I don't even know. I mean, you'd have to say Eddie Van Halen or Yngwie. I know people have a problem with Yngwie, but I mean, I don't know. It's really a hard call. Someone might think of something very pretentious to say, or like, if you like the two people I mentioned, it's like, oh well, I prefer Jimmy Page or something like that. But the reality is, he's great too, obviously. But you're comparing like two different things. Yeah. So I don't really know who my favorite guitar player. That's kind of a bad answer. I used to like Randy Rhoads a lot. Warren DeMartini.
Well, Warren DeMartini. That's another great one. But for me, this is an easy question for someone like me. I like all those players you mentioned, but the reason I bought a guitar was because I saw Johnny Ramone. Now it sounds like a silly answer, but there's millions of people who have that answer. I said, if he could do it, I could do it. Johnny Ramone saw the Dolls and said, if they could do it, I can do it. And there was something about saying, well, these are only 3-chord songs. I could play 3 chords. Well, once you start doing it, you realize it's a lot more difficult than it sounds, and to do it correctly and to down pick. And the Ramones had great songs. So for me, that was the band that inspired me. It made me want to play a guitar. I would look at Eddie Van Halen and say, I don't think I can do that. And as much as I like Yngwie, and I do like Yngwie, I didn't want to play like that. I didn't have the time to sit and learn how to do that. I don't think I would have been able to anyway. It's not my skill. So for me, there was one person that I went out and said, I'm going to buy a guitar.
Yeah.
And I told him, and I was fortunate to have met him several times and know him a bit at the end of his life. And what a great guy. And my guitar teacher, Nick Bocott from the band Grim Reaper, he told me, you're so fortunate to meet your hero. And he was great because I think his heroes were, Page and Beck or whatever. And he said they were assholes, so it's always nice when you can meet your heroes and then they're actually cool guys. I'm not going to get demonetized, but we'll do this next week. See, they want to hear you play "She's Tight" by Cheap Trick. I feel like you played this last night for me on the phone, but I could be wrong.
Oh no, that was something. That was another one. Yeah. Do I even know that song?
Well, you got him going.
Spot here, man. I am not set up for this.
Next week, by the way, we're giving away Resistant Bite signed CDs. I was not able to do it this week. I do have them.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Tomorrow, that guitar will be playing stadiums with Stephen Curtis.
Where does it go?
When I'm down and I make a call, I got a number written on the wall. The first is busy, then I try again. Could have lived until she be ill. A dollar number and it starts to ring. I get excited and I start to ding. I start to fantasize on memory lane. The bitch she has a she said run away. She said I'm home alone. Home alone. So I got off the phone. She's fake. She's a hell of a girl. She's fake. She's the one of a kind. She's fake. She's like telling the girl. She's fake. She's got her head downtown. Something like that.
You know what? I enjoyed that. You know, as I was listening to it, I realized where Faster Pussycat stole the lyrics for their
Oh,
bad
man.
lyrics.
Yeah.
Never knew that, but that is.
The whole vibe is kind of like that kind of boogie kind of vibe, you know, that wah-na-na-na. It's like
Yeah.
Poison, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Same thing from their song.
Let's see. I think this one guy's trying to get under your nerves. I've been skipping it, but maybe it's.
Oh,
funny.
what did he say?
I'd like to know if you know.
Same thing to the new me.
Yeah. Do you know how to do arpeggios?
Well, so you're saying he's mocking someone who's practiced and learned arpeggios because that's like, you know, something
Well,
that's.
let's take him in context. He said that probably the greatest guitar player to ever live was Vinnie Vincent. So let's see. And then he said J.J. French is not that good. He's getting. I sometimes give assholes a lot of extra attention.
I don't think that some people.
He mentioned Kerry Kelly, so his taste is.
I think some people, you think they're doing it on purpose, like what I think when I just step outside the door, but they're really not. They just. It's either that. If they're doing it on purpose, then let's argue. Let's battle, please. I welcome it. Right? Sorry.
Indie Cult is going to step in. He would like to know. I don't know. Maybe he's just saying it. Let's Set or Hearts. Is that? Am I reading this wrong?
Yeah, let's. I have a song called "Let's Set Our Hearts at Self-Destruct."
Let's Set Our Hearts. Okay. Well, we got to start putting links in for these records of yours so that people can hear them. But they are available on the Spotify and on the TikTok and on the Twitter and whatever.
Yeah.
Wherever you get your music, wherever you steal music, it's available. And so I recommend you listen.
I like
to
that song.
Yeah. Now, listen. Enough pussyfooting. Mark Alexander Erber is going to join us in just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about the Golden Robot Records singles competition. We've been talking about it for quite some time. I got busy traveling, and so we're a little behind on schedule. But let's bring in Mark right now. Mark, welcome.
Gentlemen.
It is nice to see you. I'm glad that you could stop by. It's been a little while. Last time I saw you was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles.
I couldn't be any further away from that at the moment. Let me tell you, I'm just down at my little country place down here with the fire on and the Led Zeppelin photos behind me. And it's freezing down here. It's about 2 degrees.
It's about 110 degrees where I am. The crackheads are mingling by the fire outside. And so it's a little different.
We just got to work out what they're burning to
True.
keep warm.
True. Right. And why would they be burning when it's 110 degrees outside? Who knows? But listen, crack doesn't just heat itself, from what I hear. So
good to see you both. I have to say, good to see you both.
Good to see you.
Yeah, this is the kinder, gentler Johnny. He's being as positive as he possibly can be. So let's explain for those who might not be familiar. Golden Robot Records was nice enough to sponsor a competition to commemorate my channel getting to 10,000 subscribers. And so we got there. There was 120 submissions and all different types of music. And so we were a little off pace, but we finally got them in. The submissions have closed, and the A&R people at Golden Robot Records have narrowed it down to what I think I saw about 25 songs. And so I've just started listening to some. Mark Knight of Bang Tango has listened to a bunch, and Johnny he listens to them all within seconds. He's very organized, and so this is where it gets interesting. My goal, Mark, is that if we can all get it down to 5,
Mhm.
we can get it down to 5. We'll play those 5 on the show, and then let's let the audience have a say. Let's give them a voice. We'll have a poll, and they can tell us out of those 5, and we'll see if we all agree. And it'll be interesting to see what the judges agree on, because I can tell you already that I know a few that Johnny liked, I know a few you liked, and I know a few that Mark liked, and a few that I liked, and they're all different. So that's what makes listening to music so fun.
It is, and maybe at some point for 2 minutes we should bring on Jazz and Kay, because they're females and they've been listening to them as well, and they've got a view on it. But let me just say this to you, and this is with no word of bullshit. I am so impressed with what came in. When we came up with this idea for you, you thought, geez, what have we got ourselves into here? But I got to say, I am so super impressed with the level of submissions, the different types of submissions. Look, it's got to say that you've got a pretty unique audience, Jason. You've got some really great musicians out there, and I'm super excited. I'm actually even honored in a way to be able to be in this position to give somebody a shot, because this ain't going to be easy, my friend. This is not going to be easy. I'm even going to talk to you on the side and say, you know what? I didn't even know if there can be, maybe there needs to be a winner in Class A and Class B. I don't know. They're that good. There's some really positive. There's female vocals, male vocals, there's country, there's rock, there's metal. It's such a wide audience that listens to you. But the ones that got to me, so out of, say, the 120, 130, the A&R team whittled it down to 30 before it got to me, which is sort of, that's the way we do things anyway, because we get so many submissions on a weekly basis. However, I was listening to them going, I really like this. I really like this. I really like this. And it was starting to get, oh, this is crazy. So I think we've got a tough one ahead of it, but it's an amazing accomplishment to be at this position. You should be super proud, Jason. You got this kind of audience.
Well, yeah, thank you, and and that says a lot, this audience, because some of the people have been watching. I recognize their names from watching the show, and one of the young women who is sent in her song, Johnny liked it, and I liked it as well. It had a good hook to it. She was watching since the beginning. I think she's only 14, 15 years old, and she was just a viewer, and who happened to have some music. So there is definitely a diverse crowd. One of the things that when I was talking to Mark Knight about is a lot of these artists are new. And so I look for a hook. And if I don't hear a hook, I move pretty fast to the next song. If I got 30, something's got to grab me. I'm not always looking for someone who's trying to reinvent the wheel. I want something that's going to stay in my head. Well, a lot of these young artists are still learning their craft. And that's what's so great about this. They're getting a chance to be seen and to build an audience. And if they get in with a good producer, someone who has experience, I think that some of these people can go a long way and learn how to write those hooks and learn how to learn the craft. Because, like I said, it takes guts for people to submit music, especially some of these people are very young. So it's exciting, and I'm excited that the audience is going to get exposed to new music. That was the whole point of this show during the pandemic. Can we let people know about music that they might miss? It's not like we turn on MTV anymore. A lot of times, one of my favorite bands has a record out, I find out on social media like everybody else. So I think this is going to be a good thing for everyone. And who knows, maybe, as you were alluding, maybe more than one person is going to end up benefiting from this.
I think so. And I think we've got 450, 460 bands now, and there's some great names on there. I can, look, when you look at record labels and you look at the different type of bands, we've got like Filter and then The Answer and a whole lot of UK bands and Riley's LA Guns. I can tell you that it hasn't been announced, but I'm happy to say on this show we signed Faster Pussycat, so that's cool. So when you've got LA Guns and Faster Pussycat and Steven and Slash Rat, etc., you've got these quintessential bands of that era. Other than Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue, those three bands were really the staple of LA rock in those days. So when you've got all these bands that are still touring and still out there, and all the young bands that we're supporting and signing, there's also opportunity for these two bands to go out and play. There's also these opportunity for them to support and go out on tours and use this as a real stepping stone, because they will get singles released globally. So it really is a great comp. I mean, I'm going to talk to you later about, we should be going now for your 20,000 views and put something together for that, because obviously it's working and it's something lovely to be involved with. But it really has blown me and the A&R staff away, because if we get a couple of hundred submissions a week from all over the world, unfortunately, not all of them are going to make the grade of what you're looking for, or it might be different. But there were so many good ones here. It really is special.
Yeah. So that's something exciting to look forward to. We do have a tentative date that we'll announce. It's in July. Yeah, as you know, all of us have these crazy schedules. The world reopens and everyone gets thrown back out to doing things. And so Johnny and I both now tour with Stephen Pearcy, and it's a bit time consuming. It's great, but it's a bit time consuming as well, because we're on planes all the time. So we do have a date that we'll all get the judges together, and it's going to be really fun to see the judges all here. As I mentioned, Mark Knight, original guitar player for Bang Tango, Mark Alexander Eber, who's joining us, Johnny Monaco, Jake Perry from the Whiskey. He books the Whiskey. He's going to give it a listen too, because this is what he does for a living. He listens to bands to decide who gets to play. Did
you like anything that you listened to off the cuff?
I listened to a couple, but I don't remember names just yet. Maybe it's too early even to reveal them. I listened to Johnny's list and I listened to your list, and I do have a couple. But I think on the next show, maybe I'll be more prepared to say some of them.
Has any of us, like Johnny's list and my list or anything, has there been the same ones on there, or are they completely different?
They were pretty different.
Wow, I like that.
They were pretty different. Yeah. So that what makes it interesting, that what everybody hears, like you said, it's such different types of music.
Yeah.
And it's pretty difficult to say, Johnny, you tell me what you were listening for when you listened.
Well, I'm trying to be like fair. So that just because I like a certain style doesn't mean that's the one I pick. I went for the best song, for, what I think would be most marketable and the best song, the catchiest. I didn't really count for production too much and stuff like that. But if you just judge by what you like, that's not really fair. That's kind of skewing it, and a lot of people can do that, and that's fine. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't just want to poo-poo something because I don't like the style.
Right.
I can not like it and still understand it. So I just thought I picked the ones that I thought were the best ones. What best means, I don't know. Catchy, cool, groovy. Everyone has their own little thing.
Something that resonates with your tastes.
Sure. Yeah. So I try to keep it open like that, as opposed to just going with what I like. That would be the way Stalin would pick the winner.
Correct.
And you know what's interesting though, Jason and Johnny? What's interesting, it's a little bit like a blind date, because when we get a submission, we need look. Let's call it what it is. Sometimes you need to know what the band looks like before. It's all marketing. It's all PR. It's all the optic. So we're listening to a lot of these not knowing what the band looks like at all. I mean, the members could be 78 years old. The members could be 19 years old. You don't know. So it's purely like a blind date. It's like one of those TV shows where you're just listening to the voice. And you're not getting anything. You're not getting anything visual. It's all to do with your sonic with your ears. So it's even cooler. It's even cooler, and I like that.
I'm going to be honest. I Googled though after if I found a song I liked, I Googled to see what the band looked like as well, and also to see what else they have because I would love to see a winner. I hate the word winner, but look, someone's got to win. That I'd like to see someone who has potential for more. So it's not just oh you have this little single thing. That they're going to have some more songs and that they're going to have a future down the road. That's why I also think of what's commercially viable. This this is supposed to be supposed to reach a lot of people. And so same thing. I don't pick necessarily what I like. I pick what I think other people are going to hear.
And because we're in control and I own the company, look, maybe we give someone an album deal, someone an EP deal, and someone 2 singles. It's up to us what we want to do. The more people we look after, I think the better it is. I mean, one of our jobs is to keep rock and roll alive, and we're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, and give attention to some artists who probably wouldn't have gotten it. I'd say it's great that so many people actually went through with doing it. How many of us have talked about I got to get this done, I got to do this, and then not actually do it? Johnny's got a solo record that's been sitting there for ages. And she said she found her soulmate. It's like the Chinese democracy, but he isn't. He's busy. But anyway, these people have the guts to send in their music and to have it evaluated, and it's a big deal. And there's a lot of rejection in this industry. We may miss somebody who's great. There may be somebody that we all passed on that's going to be the biggest star of them all. Right place, right time, and staying with it. I think that's a big part about it. Stay with it. Some of these artists are very new, so let's see what happens next for them.
It's exciting, and I think that we've definitely started something here, and it'll be really interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting if we all have a different band for the final. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
And that's why I like opening it up to the audience. Let's see where their thoughts are too, because we might all have a different idea, and maybe the audience can help sway us in why they think one has a better chance. It should reach more ears than someone else. Every time you're on, Mark, I was going to warn people before that you're here just to talk about. That you're here just to talk about this competition, but of course, there's always somebody new who would like to know what happened to John Sykes.
I'm happy to tell the two sentences.
Oh, exactly. Also, sorry.
Shall I tell the quick story?
Give me the quick version. Yeah.
The quick version is it's the same as look without going legal. We paid for a certain piece of music, and we never received it. So. What are you going to do? Are you going to go and...
Was it going to be a Blue Mortar record or a Sykes solo record?
It was a Sykes solo album. So the money changed hands. I never got anything back. Am I going to go and sue one of my heroes? No, that's not why I'm in this business. So Sykes psyched us out. He did. Look, it was the very early days of Golden Robot, and it wasn't the right deal, but we paid it. Look, it happened to us a couple of times. I can tell you. One day, Jace will do some war stories, and we'll do some war stories. I'm sure we've all got. But there's been a couple of bands that have come on, and we've paid and haven't got anything in return. But it was very early days. It wouldn't happen today. The contracts are a lot tougher with us now, and we're much bigger now, and it'll never happen. But in the early days, look, it did happen. And someone asked about King's X. I got out of the King's X deal because it was just too expensive. It's as simple as that. We paid way too much money. I had an opportunity to get out. This was in the very early days, and I got out. And still, if I would have put that money in, I wouldn't have seen that. And that album's still not out. So that was like 5 years ago. So I made the right decision to take that money and invest it elsewhere. But again, I'd do it differently today. If I had a chance to sign them today, I'd definitely sign them. They're a great band. And you know what? If John rang me tomorrow and said, here's an EP, I'd put it out. I mean, that Whitesnake album, that 1987 Whitesnake album is unbelievable. I listen to it all the time, and it's on my wall with all my other stuff signed from. Maybe I should work out what we paid him, because that's what that signature is worth. on that album on my wall.
Mhm.
Most expensive signature in the world.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, yep, we got burnt. That's life. You move on. There's nothing I could do. That's basically the story. I got no ill will. You just move on. I still love John. I always will.
Crazy.
How can you not love a guy that plays guitar like that?
Michael Perez makes a good point. The second place winners usually do better than the people who win. I think that Kelly Clarkson or whatever was a runner-up, I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe that Clay Aiken or whoever, I mean, at the time they were very popular, were runners-up. And so sometimes second place is where it's at. So let's see.
I had something else, Jason, to that. Every time something goes wrong in the industry and something like that happens, not necessarily with John, but we had other deals that went like that in the very early days, you learn something. So I think whatever you lost there, you saved a lot of money later on because you changed systems and things. So everything was a learning experience.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. So
That's how I feel the same way every time I leave Kohl's.
yeah, that's very good. I don't think they have Coles in Australia, but I think he's Mark relates.
I know.
So we will be we're going to get back in order here and get some new live shows going, and very soon, I believe it's the 16th, but that week and somewhere in the mid-July, whatever, we'll all come on and we will announce our selections. We'll discuss why we chose them, and then we'll open it up to the audience, and ultimately somebody will have a singles deal with Golden Robot, which could lead to a lot more. And then who knows, maybe we can do something for some of these artists too.
Side note, and I know it's close to your heart, how amazing! And if someone hasn't seen Stephen Pearcy live yet, they've got to go out and see him. What a killer he is! He is. When we were at the Rainbow that night, he stole that show. He was unreal.
Yeah, I was just telling a story earlier that we played a place in Atlantic City, and a band, Hinder and Chevelle, went on after him. They arguably are more current.
Chevelle.
Yeah, but the people were leaving after Steven. Steven stole that show. It was maybe it was more of that audience. Maybe the two audiences didn't completely mix because people of my age aren't as familiar with. If you grew up with Rat, you're probably not as familiar with Hinder and Chevelle. So yeah, Steven's got a lot of good things to do. I see somebody was saying, why would you sign Faster Pussycat? Because they never do anything new. I could have just stopped at why would you sign Faster Pussycat? But they do have a new product, and
we've got an EP coming out, so it'll be 4 or 5 new songs. Actually, Gilby Clark, who's on the label as well, he produced a couple of them. But I love Tammy. I think Tammy is a legend. I like Chad. I think he's great. We hung out a little bit in LA. They're just good people. They've got a great night. Listen, they're going out with Tracy Guns as LA Guns at the moment, and the crowds are great. They're pulling really, really well. Really well. So people still absolutely love them. In some circumstances, Faster has a bigger name than LA Guns.
Listen, in the Faster Pussycat LA Guns debate, I was a bigger fan of Faster Pussycat.
Yeah.
I worked with the original members of Faster Pussycat, and anyway, I think I prefer Faster Pussycat. Things are different now. Everyone has their things, and I haven't seen too much of this. I do like Tom Kiefer, who is out there headlining that tour. But anyway, yeah, new music would be good, and Faster Pussycat. You want to keep those bands going.
Definitely. I've got to send you, Jason, remind me, because you're a special person. I've got the new LA Guns album that is going to come out next year. I'll send you a version to listen to. I'd love to know your opinion. Maybe they'll win the singles competition. Yeah,
that's right. I would love to hear it. And also, and I've been talking with Kelly Nichols, and he will be here to talk about it.
Oh, good.
Soon. We've been going back and forth.
His artwork is amazing for it. Geez, he's so talented.
Yeah, talented and a good guy as well. Question here, Mark, how do you deal with all the assholes in the industry? I don't think he's talking about me and Johnny.
No, definitely not. Look, I have this thing. I got 3 mottos that I live by, and a couple of them are tattooed on me. One of them is live your life your own way. So you've got to do things your own way as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. Secondly, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. So you've got to live your life, and you've got to do it the way you want to do it. And thirdly, I say to my staff all the time, I've got like, I don't know, 90 people around the world now working for us. I'm always talking to someone and they're stressed out. I go, look, we're not saving kids' lives here. We're putting rock and roll out. It's important, but get it into perspective. So I try not to sweat the small stuff. Yeah, there is some assholes. There is definitely some assholes. They're not always necessarily an asshole to me, but they can be, difficult to deal with. You know what? I tell you what I think makes an asshole in this industry: expectations. That if you're expecting something to happen, whether it's a number one hit or it's a certain amount of PR or a certain amount of marketing or whatever it is, if you've got unrealistic expectations, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But I think if you can go in and level out expectations from day one and get it right, it sort of weeds the asshole side of things out. But in saying that, yeah, I have dealt. What I suppose disappoints me is we had a band leave the roster this morning. Here's a band, I won't say who it is, that weren't even known before they came to Golden Robot. I gave them a punt. They got hundreds of thousands of streams. They've never toured a day in their lives, and now they want to go out on their own, which is absolutely fine. I got bigger fish to fry. However, that's not how you thank someone. You get the email, thank you for everything you've done, but we want to go and do our own thing. That shits me, because you work hard and you want to keep something going. That probably annoys me more than an asshole. But look, yeah, there is definitely egos. But I am exactly the same as I was when I used to own venues. I had about 30 hotels across Australia on the East Coast, and I had a sort of quite a famous venue in Australia called the Iron Duke in Sydney. This was 1997 to 1999. I brought out the Deftones in 97 when they were on Maverick, and that was the first tour they ever did outside of America. The Helicopters, Fu Manchu, all those kind of bands in the early days. And I was the owner of the venue, but I would meet the bands at the back door. I would help them come in with their equipment. I would stand on the side of the stage and help them with security and all that kind of stuff. However, I always treated everybody the same, whether it's Richard Patrick from Filter, or a member of Guns N' Roses, or it's whoever, or someone that's applied for your competition. I just treat everybody equally. The only thing that changes are budgets. Budgets are different for different acts, but I treat everybody equally. And if you treat everybody well, you should be okay. And so I try to diffuse the assholes as much as I can. I think is that fair, Jason?
I think so, and I think you have a patient way of doing it. Not everybody can do that. Johnny Monaco or myself would probably wouldn't be so good at that. But you're diplomatic.
This is the new me. It's very patient, very patient, very patient with people, of all kinds of people.
Johnny's worked with a lot of assholes in his time, and so some are on tour right now. And then it is what it is. But yeah, no, Mark, I think you have a great way of handling it, and you have to have some patience. And like you said, it's not brain surgery. I think sometimes people take things too serious. I find I've worked with a lot of famous people. Sometimes the musicians who are the most famous or the most successful are sometimes the least difficult. I've had more asshole people who are in smaller bands than I have from people who
absolutely that can happen, and that's that whole expectation side of things. Sometimes the newer bands, you know what? It's yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes it's funny, Liam Gallagher has got a lot to answer for in the UK. There is so many bands that sound like Oasis at the moment in the UK, and they wear the trench coat with the glasses up on stage. And we've got a few of those bands, and they're fabulous. But some of them tend to adopt this arrogant attitude because Liam was like that in the 90s. It makes me laugh. It's like, mate, you haven't even had a number one. You haven't even had a hit yet. Just relax, and then you can bring the tune in later. It makes me laugh. It's very funny.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Mark, me and Johnny are going to wrap up, but we'll come back. We'll talk, and we will give people a date when this event is going to take place, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll do it right here. Mark, thank you so much for supporting the channel and also supporting all these artists, giving a voice.
100%. And as I said, congratulations to you for such a high quality of submissions, and it's been a pleasure to be part of it now. And I'm super excited about the next few weeks. And Johnny, it's always a pleasure to be in your company.
Ditto.
Thank you, Mark. See you soon.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, so there's Mark Alexander. We're taking time out of his busy schedule to join us and talk about the upcoming contest, because a lot of the people here are excited, and a lot of people have submitted. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to give anyone any favoritism, and also I've got to really listen. We're going to be on a plane for the rest of our week, and that'll give me a little bit more time to listen. Anyway, let's see what happens here. I try to go through these questions. I do want to get to Mark's question, Mark Sanchez. What is going on with Donnie V's mom and her house, Johnny? Do you have any inside information?
I've been hearing the same thing you guys are. Something about losing her house. Prior to that, I heard something about they were trying to remodel the kitchen. How much is a splash guard? Anyway, I don't know, something about the house, and they're trying to save it. And
do you think we should do something? Maybe put on a benefit or some sort?
who, me and you?
Yeah.
I think we should probably stay out of it.
Huh?
I mean, I personally, I don't know what I would be able to do to help so much. No one's reached out to me. I've met his mom before. She's actually very nice. I like her. Seen her at a couple events back in the day, and I don't really know. I'm not following it. It could be real. I mean, I don't know.
When is the last time you spoke to Donnie V?
It's over a year ago. I did a voiceover for his new video that he asked me to do, and
You did not credit you.
he didn't. We never settled up, and he never gave me credit for it. But that also happened on the Beautiful Things album, so it's my fault. I just entertained the idea because I like the song so much. Sometimes when people are like, "Well, he's going to do whatever I want," he likes the songs. Instead of taking that as a compliment, it's a way to get something from someone.
Did
But
you ever
I was fine with it. I said I would do it. I could have said no, and I wanted to be a part of it because I've always liked his songs.
Did you ever think about sending him a text and saying, "How's your mom's"?
I was thinking of sending him an invoice, and then
maybe put that in an addendum. Yeah.
No, I really don't know. I've never been to that house. I know it's probably in Blue Island where Chip is, so they're probably, it's come full circle. They're probably in the same area together. Donnie in his childhood home. Well, partially.
Maybe we should go. We're only going to be an hour away this week. Maybe
you
we
want
should
to drive from Milwaukee to Blue Island. It's actually right by Midway, which we discovered is a horrible institution, and they don't only they don't have any hot dogs, but the people that are serving this Chicago food have attitudes and beards with no nets and some kind of Mediterranean look to them, and they did not look happy to be there. So much so that we waited till the very last minute in line. We were all set to buy a cheeseburger from this place. Cheeseburger. That's where they got it from. The whole institution of Chicago, this place. What was it called exactly? Do you remember?
I don't. This is your hometown.
I'm from the other side. But I wasn't Harry Carey's, but it was another one. And I don't remember the name, but that's where they got the cheeseburger thing from SNL. And the original one is in the city, but they have one in Midway. Their attitudes, those guys lollygagging, and he threw the thing on the counter for the guy to get his hamburger. Here's your hamburger. The bacon looked all old and
the burger was small, and the bread and then the hot dogs were not Chicago style hot dogs.
Somebody just said it. She said it. Michelle, she knows. She's from there. I see.
Oh yeah. Billy Goat
Tavern. Yes, that's right. It. So he looked like a Billy Goat was putting together the hamburgers. A Billy Goat from another country but still a billy goat. So, oh, right, trying to be nice.
Yeah.
So this person was trying his hard. What happened? He was trying his hardest to assemble a hamburger, which, as some of us know, can be tricky. And the hamburger looked like it was put together with feet. So at the last minute, me and Jason decided that we don't care if we are hungry, and we are not going to wait here anymore. So we got out of line and we walked to the other end of the airport, which was far.
3 times.
And then we came back and we still were unsure. You ran into someone you knew from years ago, and she was with someone who wasn't wearing socks, and then shook my hand. And then we went down another corridor and we met police, which I said, let me ask you guys.
Now we didn't meet Sting and Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers. We actually met police officers.
That's right. We met the actual Chicago police, which they're so Chicago police. And I said, let me ask this guy, where's the best hot dog? And then what did they
you went up to the guy, Johnny. What was he doing? What was he leaning on?
I don't know what it was. You knew what it was. It was some kind of machine that you put your pot in. What was it?
It was a cannabis amnesty box. So I guess you go in front of all these cops and you take away your illegal drugs and you just put it in there and there's no questions asked. Sounds safe to me. Aaron Judge.
Yeah, he was all hanging on it like, and they're all like, you asked the right guy. And I'm like, where's the best place for the hot dogs in here? I go, because this guy at the Billy Goat Tavern had a bad attitude. And he goes, that's just how they are now. They're young people. That's how young people are. Like that's okay. I've met a lot of young people that don't act like that. Okay. Yeah, so this guy was just, I'm sick of it. I am so done arguing with people. Hold on. I give everybody one.
Like Niagara Falls, slowly I turn.
So anyway, we ended up not getting a hot dog like we both wanted. And we went and had something else. We had clam chowder. And
no, that's not true. Well, hold on. First of all, I want to point out we had the clam chowder and Philly cheesesteak in Philly. That was earlier in the day. Then when we got to Chicago, we were so angry. There's one Chicago hot dog place, Vienna Beef, the famous place. It is always closed. It's been. I've been in that airport a million times. It's always closed. Then they have a pizza place, but the pizza is not Chicago pizza at all. And so what's the point? It's heated up under a heat lamp. So what we shared a moon pie is what we had.
Well, you had a moon pie. I had a piece that I tried to pull off, but evidently moon pies are not meant to be shared, much like penny whistles. So I tried to break off a piece, and there's still part of it on my shirt. But is that all we had? You bought like a water and a moon pie, and I was just so upset that I
had a vitamin water, 0, no sugar, and the moon pie. You had nothing. You were so angry with the way Chicago has regentrified, or whatever the kids
It's
call
not
it.
the same place anymore. And we've talked about this. I always talk about how I don't like it here, and I want to move back to Chicago. But what do I have to go back to? Then I see all my friends post about their gigs. And if anything's going to be a deterrent for moving back to Chicago, it's that. And then I'm like, well, there's winter. And then, there's every other week, there's a birthday party or some event you got to go to. So I'm like, I'm just so drawn to Chicago because it's in my DNA. And when I see the greenness of the highway, the signs, just the vibe of things, it just reminds me of what I'm used to. When I'm living here, I don't see that. So I think I want to go back all the time. And Donnie V actually wrote a song about it. It's a great song. I'm sorry?
Party time?
It's not party time.
Fly High Michelle?
Not maybe party time for a long time.
Not anymore.
The song was called if I could
Get High on a New Thing?
Change. No. If I Could Change the World, I believe. And it's a great song. And he kind of says something about that, like it's all a different place. It's not the America you remember. He's doing it on a wider scale. But in so many words, I feel the same way when I go back to some place. It's like I want to move back there, as we've talked about you in New York, but and even in LA, like you had spoke earlier, when you go back to something that you think is something the same, it's changed so much that you can't go back to anything. And it's like a relationship. When you break up with someone and then years later you think, maybe I should have been a little nicer to her. I should have not yelled at her for yelling at the dog and, making him wear those boots. And, and I should have just maybe just given her but then you get into it again and you're like 2 minutes into it. You're like, now I remember. You forget.
Yeah. You get back and then you go, oh yeah, she's a cunt. That's the problem. Yeah.
Well, so that I struggle with that all the time. And when I went back to O'Hare, which by the way is like the Danny Bonaducci of airports, it's when you go there, it's a mess. And it's just, it's an airport, it's transient, people come and go, but there's still supposed to be something about it that says Chicago. And
the sign when you land, I think.
Right. But it's like, I just didn't feel it. And it's different. And the people that work there are just, their pants are sagging and they're looking at me like, they might shank me or kind of give me the wrong directions to the gate. And some people are nice. I'm not saying everybody. For the most part, 80% of them are horrible, but 95. But it's still something you can, relate to in every situation. You go back to a certain place, it's not the same. And it's not the same there.
We're going to be an hour away from Chicago this Thursday.
It's too far. If we would have been our tickets out of Chicago, we could have done that.
But then in September, we're going to be at Des Plaines.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say that, but we'll be there. And that's very close to Chicago.
Well, it's not close to Midway, but it's closer to O'Hare. And it is about 50 minutes to downtown, 45, 50 minutes if you're really, doing a good clip and you're driving like you should be driving. But then you got to get down there and it's a whole ordeal. I mean, we could technically, right after the show, just go there, but it's going to be late and it's a week. I don't think it's going to work. We'd have to be there like a day before.
Well, what a bummer, but we're going to find the Chicago hot dog somewhere. Anyway, these are the dates where you can see us. I want to make sure I answer Indie Cult's question right here. And I'll answer it. He's saying party time intro. What Johnny is the voice in Donnie V's party time video. Donnie hired him to be the voiceover of a Batman sort of thing. Johnny does those things. He did it. As we learned today, he was not paid for it. But even worse, that he didn't even give him a credit. Chips and Up is in it too. This was sort of an Enough's Enough reunion. So anyway, Indy, thank you for that support. And Indy, you just last week, Johnny, we had such a nice dinner because of Indie Cult, and here he is.
Yeah, that's very nice of you to do that, and because it really does help us out when we're in an area. And it was always like, Jason pays for it, and I'm like, well, is there any, hot dog money? He's like, well, you can just get the next one, but the bill was like $100 and something. I'm not getting the next one. But sometimes, but he did take me to the Cosmopolitan on my birthday. We there's so much stuff we didn't talk about, and that was actually if there was fun. If I did anything that was fun.
Answer this guy's question first, and then let's talk about your birthday. This guy gave you money. When this guy is a brilliant songwriter, but a compromised person, how do you deal?
People may think, oh, he's mean, he's angry, but I do give everyone one. And in that kind of a situation, I gave them more than one. And sometimes you kind of weigh it out. You're going to go, how much trouble is this going to cause me? If it's a couple, like I got to drive to Wisconsin for 4 days in a row to help him with his album and put some guitarists down, I'm probably not going to get paid. It's going to be a nightmare the whole time, but the songs are so good, I'll be involved. But if it's like, let's move in together, not doing it, you got to kind of look at where you're at. Right. Mm-hmm. So, but I like to be involved as much as I can with certain people, but it gets to a point with anybody, regardless if they have ability or not, where sometimes you're going to get cut loose. It happens mostly with the family because they've tried and tried over again. And it's like that show Intervention. Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
And it's evident sometimes they just got to cut them loose. And I don't like to do that, but you also got to realize, well, then you know what you're going to get. So I don't think that really answered the question, but I think it's common sense.
Not sure he answered the question either, but listen, people, I've worked with a lot of people who are incredibly talented and also have suffered from addiction or other problems. And I think that some of the people that you're referring to, Johnny has worked with those types. It's very difficult because they can be very nice people and obviously can be very talented people. But in the long run, an addict's mind sometimes stays the same and life is difficult. I'm speaking from my own experiences, maybe not Johnny's, but I think you get the point. I think it would be great to see Chip and Donnie and Johnny and Vic Fox. I think it would be great, but there's some
I don't think
personality.
they don't like me. I don't.
Who can not like you? K-Bear is giving us some money for the dogs. Thank you so much, K-Bear. Much appreciated. Johnny doesn't have to buy the next meal now because everyone is so. But speaking of meals, Johnny and I went out for his birthday, and we went. His birthday. For those of you was scoring, was what day is your birthday? Last week.
What friend are you?
June 27th.
Nope.
Right?
That's okay because I don't know when yours either, but I do know where you live. My birthday is June 13th. I am a Gemini snake, and
June 27th isn't even happened yet.
Your birthday is July 4th, right? No, Jason was nice enough to. I played with a band on my birthday at Carnival Court. It took my beating for 4.5 hours. And then he called me and said, I'm at the Cosmopolitan because heavy gambler. And then so I am like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, why don't you come over here? And I'm like, all right. So I went over there and figured out where to park my car, got upset 4 times, then went into the Cosmopolitan and we went to a real interesting place. I still had a canker sore under my tongue, so it was a little rough for me. And they brought me some horrible drink that I don't know why I ordered it. But the food was very interesting. 8-course meal, all kinds of different things. I don't know what any of it is. And then they brought me a cake at the end, which was some weird kind of ice with whipped cream and papaya or something. I don't know what it was, but it was supposed to be, it was terrible.
There was supposed to be some kind of sticky rice, but there was no rice involved.
Right.
But there was ice, and there was mangoes, I suppose.
Yeah, mango. That's right. Yeah. Usually it's good when you get at the Thai restaurant. It's fantastic. I don't know what this one was, but I think they're trying to reinvent the wheel thing. Like, this is hugely popular, but let's put our own little twist on it and charge $30 for it. That's the whole town.
We went to Jose Ander's China Poblano. That's the name of the place. We had a tasting menu where they pick, and as Johnny said, they brought us 8 courses. It is part Chinese and it is part Mexican. There's a Puerto Rican Jew place next door called Juan Epstein's. You need a note to get into. But anyway, I thought it was very good. I think we had some good stuff. I don't think there was anything that I got to that I said I don't like this. There was a tuna ceviche. I don't like tuna. I don't eat fish.
I liked it.
He liked it very much. I had the vegan version, which was, oddly enough, it was coconut. It was a piece of coconut cut like fish, and it was soft and squishy, and it was very, very good. And so, and it was nice. And Johnny, I'll tell you, one of the things I like about you is that you're one of these guys who takes life easy. Some people have to be somewhere at a certain time. I like to hang out and people watch, and you like to do that as well. Take life easy. Who cares? If you think Johnny and I enjoy making fun of people here, just imagine what we're like in a casino filled with tourists from other cities. Johnny did have. Well, I played the National Lampoon's Vacation slot machine, and at that point, Johnny was invited to partake with another couple. They wanted to celebrate Johnny's birthday together, and they were doing fireball shots, which was very nice. and we had a great time. And I don't think anything else happened, but it could have. Indie Cult, if you like power pop, Johnny's overrated album, and Donnie's "You're My Favorite Thing" is brilliant. I couldn't agree more. Indie Cult, it's very kind of you. And when Johnny's record, she said she's found her soulmate, comes out, we'll make sure that you get one of the first copies, because obviously you support Johnny's music and this channel, and that is a great thing. Let's see. Yeah, I saw someone said they would pay to hang out with us at a casino just to hear the comments, and yeah, the Cosmo is my spot.
It was a fun night. We walked around and tried to figure out who was a hooker, and then we were the only ones wearing masks because we're only in a pandemic, and
we were also just in case we wanted to have a robbery,
and plus we want to go on tour. We don't want to get sick and get stuck and not be able to go somewhere because we had to lie to everybody and tell them we don't have COVID. So we sat at those machines and we played the Chevy Chase one. We played the Madonna one.
That was fun.
We kept wanting to do another one over there, and we're eyeballing this lady who's smoking and drinking. Completely shouldn't be doing either of those things if you saw her, and sweating up the seat because we wanted to sit in it. It was like a booth, like a car seat. Most people are on a date or they sit there by themselves. Me and you are sitting next to each other. I kept getting drinks because they kept asking me, and you're like, "Yeah, get a drink. It's your birthday. Here's $2, honey." It's like paying for me, paying for everything. Then we played the horse game, which I kind of like the horse.
That was fun.
Electronic horses go around in a dome, kind of like the foosball game that you play with the hockey guys, but it's electronic. And sometimes they'll speed up and sometimes they'll slow down. And you're like, come on, number 4. And they'll speed up and then slow down. And everyone else at the table is like eyeballing me, looking at me, and we're looking at them like we're in competition. And Jason kept putting in hundreds. And, he's got a card there. So it's not all for naught. You gamble a little bit, you make your money back. You pretty much break even at these places, unless you're, me, then you lose. And if you're somebody like Jason, you win. You win. So.
Yeah,
you're doing good, right? You're doing good now. You get the card points.
I'm doing fantastic, and we a lot of points there, and so they are nice enough to send all kinds of offers, and that is how we get to go there and have so much fun. Speaking of fun, Tris. I can't read Triss's last name. Johnny, can you pronounce that?
I think I want to say Mahafa.
No, I think that's Mahafe. Mahafi.
Well, you asked me. I don't know. I mean,
Mahafai. Tris.
Dr. Hafar. No, it's. I want to say. She'll phonetically tell us, but
Chris,
I want to say
Chris, send it to us phonetically so we don't embarrass
ourselves. Mahafe. How about Mahafe? That's right.
Mahafe is probably it. Joe says he missed us boys. It's good to see us. Thank you, Joe.
I was right. Oh no, that's
so did she say it?
No,
she didn't say
someone else said it.
Yeah, no. Let's let Tris answer it. It could be a he. Tris is probably a he.
Well, Tris bought us some ice cream shakes, which we all know that I struggle with getting a good milkshake.
We're trying to find a good one. I think we can do this.
In Chicago, when we go to this thing, Milwaukee Fest, there's like all these tents of food everywhere. There's going to be like Italian sausage tent, Italian ice. There's going to be all that. And you go from one to another. It's going to be nice and warm out. It's going to be like close to what I remember my youth when I enjoyed things. It'll be similar to that, except there will be rap music and people who look like they're going to cause a problem.
Well, if there's anyone watching and you are in the area, you come out, be our guest. Maybe you could appear on the show and maybe we can get you into this thing. I'm sure we could do that. Johnny and I have a lot of pull. So if you're in Milwaukee, let us know.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jason. Was Johnny Ramone a good dude, politics aside? He was a great guy. I never spoke about politics with him ever on purpose. I knew that we differed in opinion, and but boy, was he a great guy, and he cared about his fans very much. And Johnny Ramone collected autographs. He wrote to baseball players and celebrities through the mail, and he would go to conventions. And obviously, he was quite famous himself. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I learned a lot of that from Johnny too. And a lot of my collectibles from the Ramones come from Johnny. He would help me get all my stuff signed, and now it's when I retire that I've got that. So here's Tris. Tris says I was right, which sounds ridiculous. That anything I said was right. It's Ma half a.
Okay.
Ma half a.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tris. We appreciate you supporting it. Sorry that we. Oh! Tris has the amp company. I think we knew this.
Oh, okay.
Half amps. We were talking about maybe a sponsorship. So I got to
That's
play.
right. Was that the one that I said might have been a little too big for me to take? Because I need something. Yeah, I do need something to warm up with because I do like to have that.
Yeah. Chase is a Yankees fan. So am I. 4-3. Looks like we're in the 8th. Hopefully the Yankees will come back.
Yeah. Everybody go check out that page of the amps because there's some good amps on there.
Speaking of checking out pages, Johnny, what's going on with your glasses? Didn't you break your glasses at the last show?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
Now, I thought somebody was going to help you out. What's going on with this? What's the latest? Because I need some glasses myself.
No, I obviously what happened was I think something went to fall. Like they went to fall, and I went to grab them, and it broke in midair so fast that I grabbed them, but somehow broke them. And a real great guy online called Spectacle.eyewear.
Spectacle Eyewear,
a friend of the shows out here on Instagram, reached out and offered to help me. And his name is Paul. And I gave him the prescription. So he's working on it. He's going to put something together for me, which I thought was very nice because I had to go to the eye doctor and it was hundreds of dollars to get it looked at. And they're trying to talk me into contacts, which I've been wearing, but they're not working out. I mean, I don't know. Contacts are really not, it's a whole ordeal. Everything's blurry past like my arm's length. So maybe for guitar, it's okay, but they hurt and they're blurry and it's still not sharp even here because I can't wear my glasses on stage. And so he's working on that. He's out of Boston. And he has worked with many other artists before, helping everybody out. Helped out Tony Iommi. He helped out the Queensryche guys and Ryan Roxy, a fellow podcaster.
Yeah. He has a podcast?
What's that?
He has a podcast, that guy?
So Nash,
there's a lot of these podcasts. But this guy is the eye doctor to the stars.
That's right. And he offered to help me out. And I said, that'd be great. I don't know how we're going to go about doing this because as you wear glasses, so you may know that, you got to get that line straight. And they put you in the machine and make you look and they put a little dot. Because if that line where the bifocal starts to change, is too high or too low, it can mess up the whole thing. So I think you kind of got to be in person. Although they do have apps that do it now. I don't know. He offered to help. I thought that was very nice. And I took him up on it. So I am waiting to hear back. Although this show that's coming up will be another blind show unless I put the contacts in that he gave me.
I don't know if you know, there was this guy named Jeff Healy, and he made a career doing that. So if he could do it, you could do it.
Yeah, but if you're born blind, if you have sight and then you lose it.
Well, I think it's easier to learn how to play, harder to learn how to play blind than to learn how to play after you've gone blind. You know what I mean? I think you can do it, Johnny.
I just know that I'm trying to learn these songs and I'm trying to look decent on stage and I see myself in pictures and I don't like how I look. And
well, join the club. I mean,
would prefer to wear my glasses, but I understand, they want it to look rock, and you don't wear glasses in rock. I mean, the Faster Pussycat guy wears them. They're very romantic, the ones he wears.
Brent Muscat?
No, he does
Greg
not.
Steele? Greg Steele?
Brent Muscat does not wear glasses. He has those beautiful, his eyes are so big that they're beautiful.
He looks like Marty Feldman.
Does not need glasses.
Yeah, he looks like Marty Feldman.
Well, he's nice. So it's like he's
wait till he sues you.
Does not need a prescription. I, on the other hand, I could see great distance. So I have good eyesight, and that's the problem. When you have that, but you can't see up close, then it infringes on your nearsightedness.
Mm-hmm.
So it affects it. Whereas if your eyes are bad all around, glasses work, contacts work. But if one is really good, and it's just the other one, then there's an issue.
Shell thinks you look great, and Shell looks hot from her picture. I don't know what that means. She could be a 400-pound man from Bolivia, so I don't know. But she likes your glasses.
Well, I don't have a choice really, because
so does Michelle Infelice.
I can't see very. I mean, I could see without them, but once you wear them for so long and then you take them off, and you feel something's missing, or your eyes look a little baggy or something, or something's not right. I would just get the surgery if that would work. I don't know that. Remember when Homer Simpson gets it, and they're like, we got to put these eye drops in your eyes. Like, here we go with the add-ons, and then he leaves the store. They go, they crust over. You can't see anything. So I don't know. I would get the surgery if I could to
I
fix
wouldn't
that.
do that.
I don't even know if it's a thing. I don't know if I'm a candidate.
I wouldn't do it.
Well, they won't let me wear them on stage. Your guy doesn't want glasses on stage, and I understand that, but it would make my life a lot easier if I could see what I was doing. So,
yeah, well.
That being said, I think it's not good to stare at your neck. See a lot of these other bands, some of them, one of them I used to be in, they stare at their neck after all this time, after all these years and songs. That's chords are in the same place every time. And if you have to glance down, if you're moving a position or something, I understand that. But you should be able to look forward and look at the people and smile and play, because then they're like, oh, he's connecting. Or some people would be like, wow, he doesn't even look at his guitar. So, but that takes a certain ability. And I'm working on that.
Yeah. Steven sent you a list of songs, some new songs going to be added to the set list soon enough. And I think we can tease that some of those songs may or may not include Giving Yourself Away, You're in Trouble, Dangerous But Worth the Risk. Those three have come up. There's been a few others that have come and gone. But if you're a fan of the rap music, you want to get out to see those shows, visit officialstevenpearcy.com. Steven will be back on this show very soon. I was going to tell him to come on for a few minutes today, but I thought we're going to see enough of him. But he will also, I'll be doing a live auction from Steven's house when we get back. And so I'll post a link if you guys want to get some cool collectibles and just hang out and listen to some music with us and hear his takes on things. It's very funny. So, all right, let's see here. Let's see. Just making sure I get to everybody's last questions. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. And everybody tells me I've got to promote my Instagram. They say that you're not a true influencer if you don't promote your Instagram. So whatever that means, go over. I risk my life filming content for you, So yeah, I went into the most dangerous jungles known to man. I felt like a young Tarzan, so make sure you subscribe for that. Anybody else got anything to say? If not, I think we're going to wrap it up. I wasn't joking when I said we are going to be meeting at the airport around 4:30
Yeah,
in the
I gotta
morning.
get this wrong too. I might go over to Guitar Center after this. 'Cause I'm checking out an amp, and they won't send me stuff anymore until I'm positive I want it. So I keep returning
What,
everything. So
COVID positive?
huh? No,
Oh,
that's.
okay.
But
What time does it close? You're going to have to hurry.
Well, I thought I'd run over there really quick after this, and I'll come home. And I got most of my stuff packed. Like,
Well, hold on. If you need anything from Guitar Center, Indy Colt is buying. He said he enjoyed our reaction to Sweet Caroline while I was drinking beer. That was the first beer I had in 20 years. I was intoxicated.
oh, jeez.
We had a fun time. The sights, the sounds, and the flavors. It's just like these corny jokes. Yes, Johnny works at Guitar Center. Yep, he does the show, and then he works the 7 to 8 shift. Yeah.
I don't like going in there, but it's the only place I could try this thing out because I wanted to get like an amp for around town instead of using the pedals. But I have to make sure I like it before they send it to me. So
Thank you, Tracy. By the way, Tracy says my hair looks great. It's growing in, but right now I think it's growing in nicely.
yeah, we got to give it some shaping. I could bring my scissors, but
I don't think you can bring them on the. You have to put them in with the guitar. Johnny, there's $9.99 towards a new amp.
that amp is $900.
Okay, so give or take, you need about eight. What was it? $900?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a bit of a deal on it, so
Okay,
it might
well.
be less than a little less, but that's how much it is. It's supposed to be a good amp. It's a 5150. It's 112 combo. It's small, but going to be a little heavy. But I think for around town,
Mhm.
like
just hanging out around town, like just driving, or
well, the gigs I play. I'm playing when I get back from our shows. I got to go to Carnival Court on Monday and play at Harris Casino, and that's going to be outside in the daytime, super hot.
400 degrees. You're going to play Jesse's Girl like it was the first time.
As soon as I got back on the last little outing, I had 3 in a row, and then I played on the weekend. So I played 5, 6, 7 shows last week.
Yeah, well, you are addicted to work. You love to be out there, and with these amazingly talented and interesting, lighthearted Vegas musicians. You have so much fun. Just you get there and play the whole day, and you play that Josie's on Vacation song. We've seen it on this show, and that's why you're one of these days you're going to be independently wealthy, though, because people love you and they love to come see you, and they tip you as well.
Yeah, we do okay over there, and I'm just trying to keep up with these guys. And there's a lot of songs. I don't know every song, but it helps to have a better guitar tone when they're doing it, because then they're at least more comfortable as opposed to playing out of a monitor. But this is tech talk. Nobody wants to hear that. I'm putting all my stuff, all my clothes and everything in my pedal case this time.
Right.
And I'm taking it because we have to carry it on. We can't check the bags. Cuts into the bottom line. So we're just going to bring everything in a little case this time.
You're going to put everything in a sandwich bag, like your toothbrush.
Eric is going to bring sandwiches.
Eric does bring sandwiches. That is true.
He offered me one.
You did not have it.
I'm a little skeptical of taking tuna sandwiches that haven't been readily refrigerated.
You know what's the only thing more ridiculous than a grown man offering you a tuna sandwich out of a bag?
Here we go.
Is a guy who makes homemade spaghetti sauce on his way.
I wanted you to try it. I just said, try this. Tell me what you think.
On the way to dinner, somewhere you come up with this plastic bag with a few splashes of sauce, and then tell me to stick my finger in and taste it. It was very odd. I don't really like other people's food so much like that. And I also have not had any of Eric's sandwiches. I'm sure they're good. But Eric will take anything from anybody. I wish I could tell you the stories, but he's an open-minded guy. Not like that. I don't know. Jason, what are your new interviews coming up? Johnny Monaco, possibly. Well, just can interview Johnny Monaco right here. Ask away. There's a bunch of good interviews coming up. Some of them I can't really say, but because while it's being worked out, I don't. And then you get these other idiot podcasters with 7 subscribers, then they go on and try to hijack it. But Nasty Suicide and I are speaking, and it'd be a great interview. He's in Finland, and he's got a new record out under his real name, Jan Steffers. And then I prefer
On Suicide.
Jan Suicide. I prefer Nasty Suicide. And Jimmy Ashurst also will. We're recording that on Wednesday, and he is the bass player for Missy Stroud and the Juju Hounds, but he also was in. Yeah, and I don't know if we can say that. And then Rob Affuso messaged me the other day. This has been going back and forth for a long time, but he says he's coming on. And then I have a really, I got some big ones, but I really can't say too much right now.
That sounds good.
New interviews return Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, because Friday I'm on the road. Maybe I'll try to go live or on the road instead. But new interviews will return next week. This is my apology for taking a vacation, but I did shoot tons of content, and there is lots more content to go. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Johnny, thank you for swinging by, and thank you to Mark Alexander Erber for coming in and giving us the update on the contest. Johnny, I'm going to see you at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
We're on a direct flight.
Oh my God.
I always give these flights away, and then there's people, autograph type people in the airport. But if you want to go to Detroit at those ungodly hours, that's on you. But
Jeez, it's early.
So yeah, it's going to be early, but we'll be back just in time on Sunday to get back to life. I thank everybody for supporting. I thank everybody for buying us dinner and all of those things. Okay, we'll see you again very soon. Good night.
Bye.